Good morning and welcome in, everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, let's take a close look at what is transpiring across the crypto market. But first, I would like to thank everybody who has subscribed to my channel, as we did hit a major milestone today. We are at over 40,000 subscribers, and it's truly a blessing. So I just wanted to thank everybody for subscribing to my channel. We're at 40,111, I believe it said. That's an unbelievable amount of people that are watching, or have subscribed to this channel. I know yesterday we had about 185 people in the live last night, 165 in the morning live, which was honestly an incredible feat because we were very red, not extremely red, but we were red yesterday. And at the end of the live last night, I was asked, Tom, if you were a bet man, what would you say was going to happen? And I said that if I was a bet man, I would think that it was going to go up and not down, even though we had suspicions that it could go down. And we harped on Ethereum. And right off the bat, we talked about Ethereum, how it looked like it had an inverse head and shoulders in the daily. And we talked about if it came down, it could technically come down into that area and create a big swing. However, that daily inverse head and shoulders looked like it was set up left shoulder, head, right shoulder, a pending golden cross there. So we were kind of thinking that, okay, this could break up and set it down, and it was a trap. Well, now we're above that rising wedge. And if Ethereum can hold on to this momentum, this is a big, big gatekeeping sign for the start of this week. The other thing that I've seen as a big indicator to start this week that things are not looking as bad as it seemed and that's where we drew out and said, all right, we already drew our inverse head and shoulders. And the only possibility was it could come down and kind of re-examine or redraw out that one side. But it seems like to me that was a daily inverse head and shoulders, and it was kind of like a bear trap. And now if the rest of crypto decides to follow, we could get hot here to start this. I mean hot. XRP sat through the weekend, and it stayed over the top of that major back test. Like, literally did this perfectly during the whole holiday weekend. This looks like, with the way it's held, we should be able to get hot here, and XRP could target 265 again. As long as we don't lose 224 in current times, we are golden. We are golden. And we have a big target up ahead. I think a lot of the skeptics, a lot of the naysayers, and a lot of the ones who are just over the top critical of XRP that it doesn't do anything, it's a pile of crap, yada, yada, yada. I think they're going to get punched in the face here pretty quickly. I mean, I can look over here on my other TV, and I see the DXY's at 99.35. Gold's down $43 an ounce to start this week now, down 1.3%. Mining stocks are going to get brutalized today, between 2 to 5% on the open, I'm imagining. Silver is down 1.57%, outpacing gold right now to $32.87, down 53 cents per ounce. So that plays into the fact that we could have a rotation here, and some people are going to be dropping money in crypto. We are in this parabolic zone. I continuously keep talking about we're back testing for a historical move. This will be something we've never seen before, and the price that we achieve will not have been seen before in the XRP price history. So with that being said, good morning. 7:58 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, May 27th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. And this is the way I've decided to do my updates in the morning. I think it just looks better. And now with my added technology, I can look around a little bit easier and see what's going on across the market without you guys having to see it. And then I can also see up to the minute things. And when we're doing the live, I don't have to have the comments thrown across the screen anymore, which is a blessing. Any kind of news and notes today that we're looking at? I know we had a big wave of inflows, so I'm trying to see. Oh, yeah, there we go. So we had a big wave of inflows, which is a good sign. So XRP sees wave of inflows, 70% of realized cap now new money. On-chain data shows more than 70% of all capital stored in XRP came into the network alongside the high price of the last 6 months. Over 70% of XRP's realized cap is 6 months old or younger. In a post on X, Glassnode senior researcher CryptoViz has talked about the capital inflow situation related to XRP, the indicator of relevance here is the realized cap, which is a model that in short keeps track of the sum of the cost bases of all addresses on the network. In other words, the indicator provider provides an estimate of the total amount of capital that the holders as a whole have invested into the cryptocurrency. Below is the chart shared by the analyst that shows how this metric has changed for XRP over the past decade. And we can see it's positively growing over the last decade. Big time. As is viable in the graph, the XRP realized cap black curve has witnessed an explosion alongside the recent bullish push in the asset's price. This would imply that a large amount of new capital has come into the cryptocurrency. In the same chart, the Glassnode researcher has also attached the data related to the realized cap associated with the different coin groups younger than 6 months. The aggregated realized cap has seen its growth during the past 6 months, so it's not surprising to see that the capital held by cohorts falling in the age range has seen its share of the indicator blow up. This massive capital wouldn't be in any significant profit. However, considering the price levels at which it flowed in, after all, the window of the past 6 months is mostly just the cryptocurrency's top and the subsequent phase of stagnation that's still ongoing today. Over 70% of the capital locked in XRP was deployed near the top over the past 6 months, notes analysts. And this is my number one argument with XRP. Nobody usually wants to buy it in retail when it's in a price spot that is deemed shit. Even though that's the consolidatory areas, that was a multi-year consolidation where it was the proper time to buy. Everybody waited for it to appreciate so much, and now they're sitting on 50 to 60% losses, and it's typical. And now it becomes a pile of shit, right? Because we bought it at the wrong time. So naturally, this could put the digital asset in a delicate situation, as it wouldn't take much of deviation or much of a drawdown to throw all these investors into the red. It now remains to be seen how the coin would develop in the near future and whether capital would continue to flow in, despite the fact that its price has been unable to revisit the highs from January. In some other news, the XRP network has seen a sharp decline in the number of active addresses since the March peak. The number of active addresses, an indicator that measures as its name, suggests the number of addresses taking part in transaction activity on the XRP network every day. From the chart, it's apparent that the number of active addresses set a huge peak in March of this year, but since then, activity on the blockchain has taken a severe hit, a metric that has gone down by more than 90%. XRP has continued to show overall sideways action recently, as its price is still trading around $2.34. Still remains the case this morning at $2.32. Ethereum very well could be showing us this next move here right now, as it's up 3.3% this morning, which is freaking great to see. Bitcoin looks like it's trying to make a next move up. So maybe we can avoid, and we've said, maybe it won't come down into an inverse head and shoulders because it doesn't have to. It hasn't filled out the technical target yet out of that cup and handle. So until we fill out to near 122, 124,000, it's irrelevant. We haven't finished this segment yet. So we still have room to go. And ultimately, if this plays out properly, we should be able to see 148K, which is where that big blue arrow is pointing to. So I do have to get this update out. My son goes to school. I have to leave here in about 17 minutes to bring him to school. So I want to make sure there's enough time for this to upload. Make sure to hit that like button so YouTube will recommend this on YouTube. Turn that bell notification to all so that you will see every update. Make sure you share this on social media. I'd be greatly appreciative. And remember, we are not bearish unless we break down these certain walls, and I'm going to continue to emphasize it in the titles. We are not bearish right now. Until XRP breaks that 224 barrier, then we could start opening up the door for a micro bearish move to that 207, down all the way maybe to that $1.98 range. That's a micro bear movement. We're not bearish macro in any regard. In fact, we might be even more bullish in the macro than we even suspect. And we talked about it in the live yesterday, which is why everybody needs to be in the lives all the time. We talked about the potential, and we used the A, B, C, D, E as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as a 5-wave, so that it would be differentiated. What if, and this is an if, what if we did wave 1 up in 2017, wave 2 was down, and that ended in 2024, so we went wave 1 up in 2013, peaked out in 2017, consolidated for wave 2 all the way back to 24. And now what if we're just in wave 3 right now? What if this has all been just one wave 3? And I drew out the example of if it's in a short-term 5 wave, which would still be in a wave 3. And it's slightly different targets because instead of ending it, if you have 10,000 tokens and being around 55,000, this could be much more interesting, let's just say. And this would be an expansion out of here. So if this happens, you'd go into a minor, probably ABC correction after you get to E, and then you just continue. I mean, this could be the most parabolic spike we've ever seen. So it's a matter of patience here. It's a matter of understanding on the chart. And don't let them trick you. Do not let them trick you. Don't let the market makers, don't let all this nonsense trick you. Remember, we still haven't cut rates. We're going into heavy quantitative easing. The big, beautiful shit bill passed that is really not good for this country. But it'll lead to more quantitative easing. It'll lead to interest rate cuts because they won't have a choice. And it'll lead to severe de-dollarization. So don't be fooled. Pay attention to the markets. Pay attention to what's going on in front of us, and don't be tricked into selling your XRP at any cost. At this point, I mean, sure, we could get a drop down, but at this point, it would be a risk. Bitunix is here. Don't lose money like on Uphold and all these other exchanges on fees. Pay attention to Bitunix. They have the lowest spot and leverage trading fees, the lowest maker-taker. They're not like a normal exchange. You send and receive from another exchange. You send the assets over or a wallet. You're not sending or receiving from a bank account. But they have XDC, ALGO, IOTA, HBAR, XRP, XLM, ZIL, VeChain, so many others. They even have XCN and Alchemy Pay and so many others. So many other. So, Axelar they have as well. And if you want to join the Telegram for free, you can talk to us even deeper. I would encourage it. You can send a donation, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. If you don't want to send it on YouTube, I encourage you to join Tom's Army and or at least subscribe to the channel. If you feel the need to send a YouTube Super Chat, that's one thing, but subscribe to the channel. Join the over 40,100 subscribers, as that's an incredible feat. I thank all of you for that, and I'll catch you on the afternoon update.